Yeah, you know, there's only one work of art that is interesting to me, and that is a new humanity. It sounds absurd, of course, I know, but um, modern art or contemporary art, in my opinion, has accomplished all the things that is possible to accomplish through art because every concept has been developed. And philosophically, art is no longer interesting, at least to me, and I know for quite a lot of other people too. Art doesn't have any interest anymore, and we say that art is dead, painting is dead, installation is dead, conceptual art even is dead. We cannot maybe cannot say that conceptual art is dead, but we can say that philosophically it's not interesting anymore because it's just a concept anyway. And as soon as you understand that the only thing that art can achieve is to convey a concept or an iconic object that has aesthetic value on its own terms, simply because it represents composition and color or light or something special. I mean, something emanates from the painting or from the object of art that does not emanate from anything else. I mean, it's unique. The work of art is unique, so of course it has value on its own. But philosophically, we can say that art is an expression that a human being performs in his individual style, and this expression is, of course, a reflection of himself as a person and as a concept. It it reflects his concept, and that is the reason why art is not interesting anymore. Simply because it's just a concept. It's just a human concept. And the fact is that the world is in a bad shape. Everybody knows that, and everybody knows that politics and the way the world is conducted politically is not in a very clever way. It's not in a very sophisticated or scientifically or philosophically fulfilled way. It's mediocre and quite stupid, which means that the work of art that we have not yet perceived as a work of art is actually a new world order, so to speak, or a new humanity, which means an attitude. We can say that the attitude of people can be a work of art in itself. It's possible to give something to the perception of human beings so that their attitude changes. And that's what happens in everyday life for everyone, because life is experience of information. Even if it is a matter of nourishment of food or water or drink or sex or reading the newspaper or walking in the street or lying down in a hammock in your garden, you're receiving information. Your system, your perceptive system, is receiving information. And when you eat, your stomach receives information in the shape of food, of different atoms, different molecules than what we receive through our mind. But it's still information. And when you perceive a work of art or a painting, it's of course still information. We can say that the world consists of two things: information and organization. And in our time, and for the last 100 years at least, both information and organization has not been sufficiently developed, has not been sophisticated, has not been as intelligent or as clever as we can, because humanity can do better than we are doing at this stage or at this point, and if we see the attitude of people, the attitude of humanity as a work of art in itself, which is a very realistic and appropriate concept to have, to see that the attitude of humanity is a work of art, or if not a work of art, at least it is something that can be changed or can be stimulated and made more appropriate according to the way that we want humanity to develop, what we want to become, what we want to do with ourselves or with the world. And this is actually the only work of art that has any interest to me, to improve perception or to give something that can something that's related to attitude. Yes, simply attitude. Because if we respect knowledge and science and philosophy and art and the things that can make us more clever, it is possible to improve society. It's very quite easy to start a production of hydrogen cars, or to reduce the population in the world, which is maybe one of the first things that we have to consider. Especially Asia and Africa too, of course, has a big problem with overpopulation, and it's going to be a big wave. It's going to be a tsunami in 10 or 15 or 20 years' time. The tsunami has already started. The problem has already begun. It's just that people are so scared, especially politicians. They are so afraid of saying that, oh no, we cannot address this issue because it's not very popular. If you tell people that you have to make less babies, then it's not very popular. So we don't talk too much about that. But Asia and Africa has a big problem of overpopulation, and it results in a very hard pollution and destruction of natural resources, and it creates imbalances in every way, also conceptually, because everything gets tighter. And the essence of Buddhism and Taoism and Hinduism, which is, they have the same core. It's the same essence of Taoism and Hinduism and Buddhism, essentially. And the essence is that we have to sacrifice our own concept. We have to sacrifice our own perception and simply just be open to life as a spiritual or even empty phenomenon. We are giving our concepts to everything in our daily lives, and we are like conceptual machines. Humanity is a conceptual machine. We create concepts, we follow concepts, and we produce by concepts. We make products because of concepts, and the products get what they become because of concepts. Everything is directed by concepts and by our own attachment to these concepts. And we need concepts in order to grow anything, or in order to organize society, or in order to cultivate ourselves, or to improve, or to change, to do anything. We need concepts. But we also need knowledge or understanding of the fact that concepts in themselves are not enough. And it's like an endless machine. Just to change one concept with the next concept, one view with another view, one idea with another idea, is never going to stop. And we know what is common sense. Common sense is to reduce damage. That is common sense. And now we live in a world of damage, and common sense is to reduce that. Well, how can we do that? Well, we can reduce the pressure on the natural resources and on the planet, And we can understand conceptual thinking. We can see the limitations of conceptual thinking. We can see that we should not pursue every concept to the bitter end. We can play with concepts, we can have fun with concepts, and we can write books and read poetry and talk about things that is a concept, and it's agreeable, and it's the foundation of communication. So it's simply there. We cannot remove concepts. They are in this world and will never leave until humanity leaves. Because humanity without concepts would be just nature. We would just be living corpses, which maybe would be actually better than what we have now, but at least some middle way, we should find a middle way. Now everything is very tense. We attach to concepts in a very tense way. Some people want to produce something, so they attach hard. Some people want to save the world very much, so they attach very hard. I mean, now we have also Barack Obama, which is wonderful. I mean, a new world leader with a mind and a heart of its own, and I mean, he's a human being. For the first time in history of the 50 years, we have a human being as a world leader, which is very nice. But he can make the same mistakes as everybody else simply by attaching to his own concepts. Even if the concepts are good, they can lead to damage and to big problems simply if he attaches too hard to them. We have to be flexible. We have to be able to change. We have to be able to let go of concepts, of ideas. And we have to be able to, simply to be flexible and soft and tolerant and able to understand the situation in a new way, because everything changes all the time. Well, reduce damage. Of course, that is something that just has to be done, and it's easy to do it. The reason why it's not done is simply because of the market forces and desire to make money, which of course is immanent in modern capitalism. And it's going to take a long time to change all these things, but it's going to happen someday, either as a result of disaster, as a result of a world collapse, so to speak, or maybe not 100% collapse, but at least something is going to change and something is going to be worse. So the fact that humanity has to start to reflect in a different way, and the fact that humanity needs to put something more in their attitude, that seems to me as a fact. It's just how it is. And art can be one of the phenomenons or aspects or iconic values, or one part of the information in order to achieve that. And that's how I see the purpose of art in a modern world, in a modern society. Not art for art's sake. Of course, I love art for art's sake. It's nothing wrong with that. I love kitsch. I love everything stupid, everything useless, as anyone else. But I don't see it as serious art or important art. And I don't even see, I mean, if you go to Documenta in Germany, or in the Venice Biennale in Italy, or to any contemporary museum in New York or in wherever, it's just repeating the same process. A concept. Here is a concept, there is a concept. This concept is different from that concept, but it's still a concept. In every gallery space there's a concept. The concept of this artist, the concept of another artist. It's boring. It's been done. That's why I say that art is finished already. I mean, it's not finished and it's not dead, because art can never die, simply because it's a phenomenon, so it has an effect on our perception. But philosophically, it is quite dead, because we know about conceptual art, and we know that every work of art has to be a concept and will represent a concept anyway. That's why I want to say that the purpose, one of the purposes of the future of art is to slowly enter the attitude of people and of humanity in a way that is more appropriate when it comes to what we want to achieve with ourselves and what we would like humanity to become. And that is, to me, why abstract art is important, why complete abstractions is important. Works of art that doesn't have any language. Of course, everything is language. Even a empty canvas is language. Color is language. Everything that is possible to perceive is language. A cat or a cup of coffee or a letter or a book or a towel or a handkerchief, everything is language. But art is the only medium that is able to transcend language. Art is the medium that is able to say something that doesn't have any language, that is not included in the normal language that we have and use. And that's why I want to say that the real work of art for the next century is to put the wonderful attitude that is more appropriate when it comes to what we want humanity to become in the future. The real work of art is, to me, a new humanity. Ha 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 ha. It's not possible, but it's a good concept. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.